Hello, everybody. Jason Smith here, checking in to give you an update on the Miami real estate market. Today, we're going to be focusing on an area called Palmetto Bay. It's on the east side of Dade County here in Miami. It brushes up against Biscayne Bay. That's the border to the east side. And then actually, thank you so much, Zyrel. She's going to show us on a map what it looks like. So you got Biscayne Bay here to the east. 136th Street is the northern boundary, southwest 136th Street. It's about, say, 10 miles south of downtown Miami, the northern part of Palmetto Bay. So the western boundary is US 1 here in red, and then the southern boundary is southwest 184th Street. So what's Palmetto Bay known for? It's known for large homes on large lots, typically 15,000 square feet or bigger lots, a very residential community, lots of parks. Just if you can imagine a single family community, middle class, upper middle class, it's a very, very nice community called Palmetto Bay. So I'm going to show you right here. And again, it's about 10, maybe 15 miles south of downtown Miami. I'm going to show you now what it looks like on the MLS. Going to show you what's available in Palmetto Bay. So it ranges on the most expensive part of the most expensive home available right now in Palmetto Bay is one that's being built right here. And it is 5.85 million, 257 days on the market as they're building. Big house, 8,136 square feet under air conditioning, 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, on a builder's acre, about 37,000 square foot of land. Here are the renderings of what it will look like once it's completed. Beautiful new construction home in Palmetto Bay. Okay, now we'll take a look in the MLS at the most affordable, if you will, single family home in Palmetto Bay. This one, they're asking, just so you know, they're asking $649. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,659 square feet on an 8,000 square foot lot. You can see here that it has a 2-car garage to the left. It's a single family home, nice large kitchen with some 2000s features inside there, early 2000s. And that is the lowest price, affordable, $649,000 for a single family home in Palmetto Bay. So we'll be looking, I was speaking with a seller because we're going to be listing perhaps next week a single family house in Palmetto Bay. And I was speaking with a seller today who's been hearing that it's a buyer's market in Palmetto Bay. And it's quite the opposite. It's definitely a seller's market in Palmetto Bay. And I'll show you why right here. So let's go to share the screen. Going to show you trend graphics. So here we are. This is the MLS. Here we are looking at the MLS. First of all, I'm going to show you what's for sale in the dark green. Sorry, the light green is what's for sale. So in July, just passed, you have 19 homes for sale right here. 8 went under contract. That's the red line here. And then 8 more closed, as you can see in the dark green. And as we've mentioned before, to determine the months of inventory, which shows you if it's a seller's or a buyer's market, you simply divide 19 divided by 8, the number of units that close. So it's slightly more than 2 months of inventory. And here we can see it's 2.4 months of inventory in July just passed. So anything less than 6 months means seller advantage or seller's market for what we're saying here, which is Palmetto Bay on the left, single family only, between 500 and $1 million in that price range. Seller's market. It's been a seller's market pretty much the last 14 months. You see there were 6.8 months of inventory in November, which is in the holiday season. So it's pretty typical that you'll see a little bit less action in holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah time. And then it really, really gets busy in February through August, the peak season of the year for single family in Palmetto Bay. Now let's just compare. So it's 2.4 months of inventory. Again, that's less than 6 months. And how do they arrive at that figure? We went over that earlier. So how was it last July? of 2022, if you really want to compare apples to apples, last July, it was 2.7 months of inventory. So it's the same, which is good to know. It's not worse. It's not better if you're a seller than it was last year. You're still seller advantage compared to, it's the same as it was. If you look here in April, it was 0.6 months. So literally half of 1 month, meaning it would take 2 weeks to sell everything on the market at that point in time if nothing else came on the market. So let's just take a quick look at what that looks like. In April, just passed, we had 12 homes on the market, 12 homes available, and it was very, very active right there. You could see that there was 12, 11, it was incredible. I mean, it was no inventory in that month, and that's why it was so very limited compared to back here in September. You had 35 homes available and 11 sold that month, so that should give us 3 months of inventory or so, just shy of 3 months back in September. Let's see if that's right. September, yep, we had 3 months of inventory at that point. So there we have it. So now let's move to a different price point. Let's move to, we've done 500 to a million. Now let's do 1 million to 1.5 million. So here we are, 1 million to 1.5 million. Same thing we're looking at here, still a seller advantage. Actually, 1.4 months of inventory in July just passed. Compare that to last July of 2.3 months of inventory of last July. So it's actually even more in seller favors now, which is contrary to what the client said. He said, wow, I hear it's a buyer's market out there right now. As we can see, it's not. It's a seller advantage. So it's good to have the facts, right? Here, 2.3 months, 1.5, 2.1. In January, there were 16 months of inventory, so it was a buyer advantage at that point in time. And then same thing in November, buyer's advantage at 10.3 months. Let's take a look here at the, let's just see if there's any other graphs that might interest here. Average price per square foot in the 1 to 1.5 million range, $443 per square foot in July just passed. What was it last July? $411 per square foot. So the average price per square foot has gone up over the past year. And you can see that it's pretty much in the low 400s to mid 400s for price per square foot in Palmetto Bay. Let's take a look at days on market. Days on market has been ranging from 50 days recently, 43 days, 62 days, 83 days. Compare that to last July when it was 23 days versus now, which is 50 days. Yes, it's seller advantage still, although days on market is increasing compared to last year. Something to be aware of. It's pretty much doubled since last year, as we can see here. May, 16 days on the market last year, whereas May this year, 62 days on the market. So it's quadrupled. 14 days on the market in June of last year. June of this year, 3 times that much at 43 days on the market. So good to know. But in terms of price, in terms of months of inventory, I should say, still seller advantage. What are things selling for per square sales price to original list price? This is a good indicator of how hot a market is. You can see in the spring of last year, 2022, the homes were selling for 100%, even 103% of asking price, 98, 95%. Not much different now, a little bit cooler in terms of the sales price to original list price percentage. Now it's 93%, 93, 93, 93 the last few months. The message there is that the original list price is the critical piece here. Seller expectations in the last 4 or 5 months were quite high based on what we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. And the eventual sales price was 93, it was less as a percentage than we saw last year in terms of the market dynamics. However, one that is really critical, as I've mentioned before, is months of inventory. It is a definite seller advantage the last 3 or 4 months. Now let's take a look at the next price point, which is, let's say 1.5 to 2 million. See how that compares in terms of what we're seeing here, 1.4 months to 2 months, the last few months of inventory. Here we can see Okay, so now, which stands to reason, 1.5 million and above, higher price point, higher mortgage rates, higher mortgage payments, fewer buyers in that price range for Palmetto Bay. You're seeing 4.7 months of inventory in July just passed, slight buyer advantage because it's slightly less than 6 months. The month before that was seller advantage as well, 3.3 months, 4 months, 2 months in April. And then you're starting to see a lot more in the buyer advantage curve, aren't you? In March, just passed 11 months of inventory, 9 months of inventory in February. Back in the holidays of November, October, September, you had 11, 12, 13 months of inventory, buyer advantage. Now, how does 4.7 months of inventory just passed in July, peak season, how does that compare to July of last year? It's actually more of a seller advantage now than it was last year. So it's looking good for sellers in Palmetto Bay this last 3 or 4 months versus 3 or 4 months of the same period back in 2022. Now, if we were to take a quick peek at the average price per square foot in the 1.5 to 2 million range, you're seeing, again, in the 400s per square foot is typically what we're seeing. In the 400s, the mid 400s with some aberrations in February, 691, 553 in March, and 545 in June. But if you're looking to average it out, you're looking in the mid 400s for per square foot. Days on, let's take a look at average price for sale and sold. Better yet, let's take a look at days on market. The days on market has been 18 days now, just passed, versus 4 days on market, wow, back in July of last year. So you're seeing that it's still pretty low days on market, especially the last 3 months. Selling price versus original list price, because people say, well, sellers will often ask, okay, well, if I list it for X, how much will it sell for? How much will I have to come down? And this answers that question right here. On average, homes are selling for 91% of the original list price, 91%. Month before that was 92%. Back in May, it was 91%. Again, compare that to last year, those similar months, you can see that the market was truly on fire back then in terms of competing offers, multiple offers. You see 91%, which is pretty much what we have now. But before that, in July, you had 100% of original asking price, selling price to original list price, 113%, and 112%. What does that mean? It means that in May and June and July of last year, you had multiple offers coming in on almost every listing, and buyers had to win the property by going over asking price to win it over the other buyers. That's what that represents there. So for buyers who might be saying, oh gosh, the interest rates have gone up, I don't know if I'm a buyer in today's market, understand this, you've got a lot less competition from a supply and demand standpoint now. You got a lot less demand, a lot less competition than you had last year. And therefore, you're able to pick up properties at a lower price than you would have last year, as evidenced by the 91, 87, 92, 91% of selling price to original list price. Now, if we go to 2 million to 3 million in Palmetto Bay, what's that going to look like? Okay, so you can see here, the numbers start to get skewed because there is not much inventory, and you're seeing lots of, everything pretty much is in the buyer advantage range because you're over 6 months, 13 months, 8 months, 9 months. So it just shows you that if you're looking to buy $2 to $3 million property, you've got a lot less competition from buyers. Let's take a look to see what's available in the 2 to 3 million range in Palmetto Bay. So 2 to 3 million. You've got this page right here. You've literally got one. You've got about, let's see here, 10 available homes between 2 and 3 million. So there's not much data there. And you can see a lot of downward arrows here, can't you? A lot of down in the price in 2 to 3 million. Price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, price reduction. Let's see if we're seeing that in the other price ranges. You're seeing a lot of that as well in the 1 to 1.5 range as well. Does that mean it's a buyer's market? Not at all. What it means is that the seller's expectations when they first came on the market were back in last year's reading when things were selling over at 100% or to 113% of asking price on average. So that was the seller expectations is what that's meaning. But in terms of months of inventory, we're as good as we were last year in the price ranges that I've mentioned. So there we go. So getting back here now to trend graphics, let's take one more look. Say 2 to 3 million. We're at, let's say, 3 to 4 million. So really, that's not a big market in Palmetto Bay. People that have that budget aren't typically looking in Palmetto Bay. They're looking more in Pinecrest, just to the north of that, which we can give you that update, in another week or so. We've given you some in the past. If you want to look back at some of our past Pinecrest market updates, we can give you an idea there. But 4 months of inventory, again, there's just not much data for 3 to 4 million. So there you have it, folks. My name is Jason. I work with Keller Williams here in Miami. As Zyrel has mentioned in the past, if there's any other neighborhoods, if you would like to see how your house stacks up in today's market, is it a seller advantage? Is it a buyer advantage? We can give you really good data to help you make the right decision if you're looking to sell or if you're looking to buy. Again, you can reach me on the information right over here above my head, Jason Smith, 786-326-8115. I'll pass it back to you, Zyrel.
Thank you so much, Jason. And also, everyone, please don't forget to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you'll be updated of our next market update. Leave a comment below and tell us what Miami neighborhood you want us to feature next. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Zyrel. And please subscribe to our channel, Showcase Miami. Is it YouTube/Showcase Miami? Correct, Zyrel?
Yes.
Great. We lost you for a second. It was unstable real quickly there, the connection. Thank you, folks. Talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.